is Thursday, December 31. Welcome to CGN News. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says that inmates at the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center in Spanish Town were on a hunger strike. This after Matthew Samuda, the minister with responsibility for the Department of Correctional Services, denied that there was a hunger strike at the facility. Samuda had also invited INDECOM and the Office of the Public Defender to visit the facility. The minister, the Gleaner reported, could not be immediately reached for a comment. INDECOM is now also probing allegations that prisoners were physically abused by warders. Members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force have arrested and detained 51 Haitians after their vessel landed at Mars Bay on the island of Andros earlier this week. The police report that the group of 44 males and 7 females were held on Monday. Immigration officials have since been dispatched to Andros for investigation and further processing of the migrants. So far, all the migrants have received medical attention from local health ministry personnel and are reportedly well. International hotel chain Sandals Resorts is facing harsh sanctions from the Barbados government for breaches of COVID-19 protocols. However, Barbados Today is reporting that in an exclusive statement, Sandals Resorts refuted allegations of repeated breaches and accused public health officials of heavy-handed action in the middle of dialogue between the hotel and the Ministry of Health. The five-star property is also contesting an implication from authorities that 3 tourists currently in police custody regarding protocol breaches are in any way associated with its guests. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Jeffrey Roach, has expressed support for any penalties imposed on hoteliers found in breach of the protocols. The Health Ministry announced that on January 5, 2021, the Sandals Barbados Resort and Spa is to be delisted as a designated quarantine hotel. Overseas now, Uganda opposition presidential candidate Bobi Wine and his campaign team have been arrested, he said in a post on Twitter. The arrests on Wednesday spurred protests at a field in Kalangala Island in Lake Victoria. Police reportedly fired tear gas at the crowd, according to Reuters news agency. Wine has emerged as the strongest challenger to President Yoweri Museveni, 76, in the presidential election on January 14. A spokesman for Wine's National Unity Platform party said police departed after putting Wine and his entire campaign team in trucks. The woman who falsely accused the teen son of jazz musician Keon Harold of stealing her iPhone and assaulting him says she is the actual victim. The 22-year-old white woman at the center of the incident at the Arlo Soho Hotel in New York reached out to CNN to share her side of the incident that took place last weekend. She claimed that she approached Arlo Hotel security to determine who had taken her missing iPhone and said that she told another guest to empty their pocket before turning her attention on Keon Harold Jr. The woman, who the station did not name publicly owing to alleged death threats, claimed that she was the one assaulted. The video, uploaded by Harold Sr., appeared to show her lunge at his son. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Harold want the district attorney to charge her with assault. The Canadian government said Wednesday that passengers must have a negative COVID-19 test taken within 3 days before they arrive in the country. Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominique LeBlanc said the measure will be implemented in the next few days. Canada already requires those entering the country to self-isolate for 14 days, and it has already banned all flights from the United Kingdom because of the new variant of COVID-19 spreading there. The decision came a day after the Premier of Canada's largest province said he had ordered his Finance Minister, Rod Phillips, to end a Caribbean vacation he took at a time the government is urging people to avoid non-essential travel because of the pandemic. An ER nurse has tested positive for COVID-19 8 days after receiving a vaccination against the virus. California nurse Matthew W., 45, received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on December 18, but tested positive for COVID-19 the day after Christmas after starting to feel unwell. The nurse had been working a shift in a COVID-19 unit and came down with the chills, muscle aches and fatigue on Christmas Eve, reported 10 News. Online reports are that on December 26 he tested positive for COVID-19. According to clinical trial results, the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is 95% effective at preventing the virus. The vaccine comes in 2 doses and only provides that high level of immunity when both jabs have been completed, regulators say. A Brazilian woman enslaved as a maid from the age of 8 for almost 4 decades and forced into marriage was rescued in a rare crackdown on domestic slavery, officials said recently. Madalena Gordiano, 46, was given up as a child by her destitute parents to the family of Dalton Cesar Milagres Regueira, a university professor, and raised by his mother, DailyMail.com quote inspectors as saying. She had worked for the family for most of her life without pay or any time off, according to labor inspectors. During her captivity, Gordiano was forced to marry an elderly relative of the family with whom she never lived so that they could continue to receive his pension after he died, authorities said. Following her rescue on November 27, the woman was taken to a shelter where she's being assisted by psychologists and social workers. Officials said they were trying to reunite the woman with her biological family. Every year, as the clock nears midnight on December 31, the eyes of the world turn to the dazzling lights and bustling energy of Times Square, New York. As the famous New Year's Eve ball descends atop One Times Square, countless people are united in bidding collective farewell to the departing year and expressing joy and hope for the year ahead. TimesSquareNYC.org states, quote, "Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, NYE 2021 will not be open to the public this year, but there will be live performances, and we hope all of you will enjoy the virtual celebration safely from the comfort of your own home," end quote. And finally, virtual parties, socially distanced firework displays, and the hope of better days to come greeted the dawn of 2021. 2020 started passing into history in Kiribati and Samoa at 10 a.m. GMT and New Zealand at 11 a.m., with the last Pacific island set to cross the invisible threshold 25 hours later. In New Zealand and Australia, 2 of the first countries to reach midnight, life was normal enough for some crowds of revelers to gather on waterfronts in Auckland and Sydney to mark the new year. Thousands of people flocked to Victoria Street West in central Auckland and got a close-up view for the fireworks display that went off at midnight from the Sky Tower. But for most of the world's 7 billion people, 2020 is ending with typically scaled-back festivities, with fireworks and live performances set to be watched from home or cancelled altogether. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Happy New Year.